Well, it's been a while. It's time to check in. But you know what? I'll be right back. This is killing me.
Who's that, Freedom? Who's that? Huh?
Do you want to say hi?
Your camera
It's been a while. I haven't made a video for, it's been almost 2 weeks. I've been here 2 weeks as of yesterday, and I am so tired. Yesterday was the first day that the sun came out and reminded me what spring was like, and it's just amazing, and today's going to be warm too, that when there's light and it's not cold and it's not windy, there's just a little bit of hope that maybe spring will come. But that isn't even what I want to talk to you about today. Today, I just wanted to check in because I just want to say something I've already said over and over and over again. You know, I've told some of you on Patreon what's going on. I haven't told you guys here. But I've been struggling for a couple years, and cue the wind. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've been struggling for a couple years, and I've known that this particular lifestyle is out of my physical ability to do pretty much longer, and I don't have an answer. I thought I would spend the rest of my days living close to the earth, right? And doing, chopping the wood and gathering the water and dragging the trailer around with the truck, and there's just been some complications that are not going to be allow me to do that. While at the same time, right, the world is going into collapse, and the only people who will survive will be the ones who can practice survival. So the irony behind this is not lost on me. But I've talked a lot about different things. I've talked about last days. I've talked about terminal diagnosis. I've talked about a lot of things on this channel. And there's so much going on right now. I have been just stalled out and stuck because we don't need somebody else, voicing their opinion or screaming, get ready, or do this, or why don't they do that, which is probably the one that most people scream about. Well, you should. People should go do that. And I just want to be a part of that. I am so exhausted with the rhetoric, with the opinion. I'm exhausted with the drama of the world. I'm exhausted just... That was a car that just went by. Oh, cut.
Huh? Who's that?
The first year I had Freedom, he made no noise, and every year since there he's gotten louder, and now bark, 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 bark. There's a couple other dogs here, and all they do is bark. So as I was saying, I'm just exhausted, and it's the kind of fatigue that is not in my mind, and it's the kind of fatigue that isn't something that's just going to get better with a little rest, and it's not the kind of fatigue that's going to improve unless I make some radical changes. And I can't do it living like this. At least I haven't been able to. And I don't know how to change things, or even if it's too late for me to change things, or if I want to change things. And so this has been, it's been a long couple of years. I was feeling a lot better before I left Arizona because it was starting to warm up there, and it's been cold here, and just the move itself has wiped me out for 2 weeks. And I just haven't even known what to say. So I've been, trying to sit with what am I going to do, because I need to start doing something. I can't just sit here and wait to feel better. And yesterday was the first day, I wasn't in as much pain, and I had a little tiny bit of energy, and The sun was out and it was a little bit warm, and it's the first time I had just a little tiny bit of hope, and a reminder that it wasn't always going to be, every day wasn't going to be so hard, and just waiting to feel better. And I made a video a while back called My Number One Survival Skill was Tenacious Hope. And I've always held on to that. You know, hope was one of those questions that I put in front of myself when I embarked on this process. You know, when I decided to leave California and walk in faith, and ask the question, how do I survive? And all the things, you know, that have unfolded in this time and in through that journey. But I've been floundering for years because, you know, I got what I wanted from this process and I didn't like it, and I haven't known what to do about it because my journey was over for me. I found what I was looking for. It wasn't what I wanted, and now what, right? And so now, you know, we're sitting on the brink of, World War III. We're waiting, you know, to see if the bombs are going to drop. I have to censor my words, which I can't stand. I found a platform I really like over at Substack, but I can't seem to fully commit because I'm in that same place where all my technology is falling apart. And there's just been a lot of hard questions, like, you know, how do I run an online business when I don't have consistent electricity or internet? And now I was able to test my computer, and that's useless basically for what I need. And so I don't come out here to explain and to whine and, you know, poor me. And people love headlines where they think something bad is going to happen to me and they get to eavesdrop into my personal life. And I personally think that the social media is also killing us. And I've shared this on my with Patreon, and I've shared it with Wired for Danger people. But I've really come to the conclusion, you know, my primary issue is I don't have enough energy. I had that question about money, and I was able to get a point in my life where I had enough money, and that didn't solve all my problems. And I had a question about time, and I've been doing that, you know, for the last 12 years. I've had all the time in the world that I've wanted, and that didn't fix things the way I thought, you know, they would be fixed or the way I wanted them to. And now I'm faced with that last piece of the formula. And for me, the question of life has always been, you know, time, money, and energy. And I've always defined energy as thoughts, feelings, and actions. You know, those are the things that make up the substance of our experience here in the world. And I'm faced with this reality that my energy is pooping out or gone for the most part. And I'm also watching what's going on out in the world. And it's becoming an energy question. And I believe we're going to be moving to an economy that's going to be based on commodities and energy. And I also am going to add integrity. So I see this new parallel economy is going to be based on ICE, integrity, commodities, and energy. And while we have had oil as the basis of our trade, it has not been fair or equitable, and it's not been done with any level of integrity. And if you're like me and you're from America, I mean, I am horrified by what my country and my politicians are doing. I mean, I'm horrified the way people are acting. I mean, I'm sitting here, like I'm sure a lot of you are, just in shock that people are saying and doing what they're doing, and that our representatives are just insane. A third of Americans think that nuclear war is a good idea. Actually, that's not true. A third of Americans think bombing somebody else is a good idea without any awareness that the bombs come back. I mean, that is not energizing to me. That does not fill my spirit. That does not make me want to get up in the morning and try to be present in a way that is purposeful or useful. So I've been stuck, and I've been stalled, and I've been kind of waiting to recover. And, yesterday we got a little bit of hope. And today we have a little bit of hope. And I went and changed because one of the things that I started with back in my early 20s, back when dot matrix were the printers, I had written a poem, and I had gotten a message, and I sort of put that aside because I tried in my 20s to do something with it. It just didn't work. So I put it away, and I didn't deal with it. And, all these decades later, it's been resurfacing and resurfacing. And, I've talked about in the past, like, I don't want peace. I've never been interested in healing. These are the things that don't interest me. And yet those are the two things that I want and need the most. And most people do. And those two things are represented by the feminine. And I have a lot of strong opinions on what's happening with the masculine and the feminine. I try to just talk about it as human, and that really didn't connect, although I think people have a better understanding now why being human is so important. And that real healing comes in this understanding of the masculine and the feminine, both within and without, and who we are as human in addition to who we are as spirit. And so I'm just, coming up to you here today to just point out that we are at just an amazing time. And I got an email or response on my Patreon for one of the women who's signed up over there. And it just, thank you, Rosemary, it just kind of lit something up in me again because of her concern about how she's going to take care of her 3 sons. And I was listening to another gentleman who I'm going to share with you at a different time. And it just reminded me about who I was so long ago and how all that got messed up and lost along the way because I needed to understand things that weren't about that. And I understand them in a new way. And one of the biggest issues I've had on this social media platform is people's feedback and how I really just don't think it's good for you. I know most of it's not good for me, and how I know there's something intrinsically wrong. I just don't know what the right way forward is, and I still don't have 100% clarity on that. But I do know with 100% that the thing that is killing me the most is the wild imbalance within myself of the feminine and the masculine. And I think the only way to save this world is to let it go and to find that integration within ourselves and with our relationship with each other and with our relationships and how we work together, in this new parallel economy that needs to be built based on integrity, commodities, and energy. And one of the questions, I threw out to people who over on the newsletter was that what would Noah do? And Noah did not spend all his time, money, and energy trying to convince people there was a flood coming. He spent most of his time, money, and energy on building an ark, getting through, finding a way to the other side. And that's what men need to be doing. I think the women, we as feminine, we need to be doing something else, and I'll talk more about that in another day. But one more opinion or one more piece of information is not going to change anything. We need some arcs. We need some strong, sturdy arcs built that we can climb onto and find our way out of this. And there's no opinions necessary because an arc is an arc. It doesn't need to be discussed till the cows come home. It needs to be built. Opinion and ideas without actions mean nothing. I have done a lot in the masculine realm. I have taught myself survival. I drive a huge truck and I drag a huge steel trailer and I chop wood and I build and I do all these things because it's in me. But it's time for me to find my own balance. And I've said that. I like how the wind kicked up. I've said this multiple times, about trying to talk more to women, to reintegrate the feminine, and I just keep not doing it. And, I ask myself that question, these are my last days. How do I want to spend them? And I do not want to spend them trying to be the better man. I am exhausted and it's killing me. And I know there's so many women who know exactly what I'm talking about. And I want to spend my last days remembering what it means to be a girl. To finding whatever that feminine energy in me that is so lost and so drowned out because she's dying. I'm dying. I just can't keep this up. And so these are my last days. And I think they're the last days for most of us. I don't think we can build an ark that fits everybody, but I think we can build an ark that puts the children forward. And that's what I would say to you, Rosemary. It's like the ark you're going to build is your sons will be the future. And you chose them, and they chose you, and I believe in you. That's what we do. That's who we are. We're not here to have lives of selfishness and narcissism and entertainment and our every need and our every ego whim given to us. We're not here to have opinions splayed everywhere and people fall at our feet and tell us how awesome we are by clicks and views with no action, might I say. People who are most successful in these mediums do the least amount of anything productive. And that was, the guy I was listening to, just amazing amount of action with very little communication. And most people are all communication and no action. I've tried to walk my talk, but it's killing me at this point. And so I believe in us. I believe in the men and the women. I believe in the children. I believe in the future. I just don't want to be the better man anymore. I am ready to remember what it means to be a girl. And so I imagine I will flip-flop back and forth another 50 times, but I always come back. I don't even have any really feminine clothes, but I did try to put earrings on. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, and it's killing me. So wish me luck. And I hope you guys will join me on this next leg of the journey, because if we don't have hope, we don't make it. See, freedom agrees.